Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is a meeting of the Licensing Act 2003 Subcommittee of the London Borough of Newham for a new premises licence application for Decan Baha Limited, 79 Green Street, Forest Gate, E7 8JF. Please note that the meeting recording will be available the meeting on the Council's calendar of meetings YouTube channel. In accordance with the Members' Code of Conduct, the three councillors on the committee today are required to declare any relevant interests on any matter being considered at this meeting. I have no interest to declare. Councillor Loftus?
I have no interest to declare.
Councillor Ford?
No interest to declare.
Thank you. I will now move to introductions. My name is Councillor Tony Wilson. I represent Beckton Ward and I'll be chairing this meeting throughout. Councillor Loftus?
Good morning. I'm Councillor Jane Lofthouse and I represent Glasgow South.
And Councillor Winston Vaughan, representing Forest Gate South Ward.
Thank you. Case officer?
Colin Hunt, I'm the case officer, London Borough of Newham.
Thank you. Ian?
Environmental health.
Thank you. And we have Steve on Zoom. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Steve Jackson, Licensing Enforcement Team.
Thank you very much. And you, sir, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Hamid Mohammed. I am the director of the Deccan Bar Limited.
Thank you.
My name is Altaf Masur. I am his friend.
Okay, thank you. Did you get that, Pauline?
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll now briefly run through the procedure of this meeting. The licensing case officer will present their report. We then move to the representation from the responsible authorities, for example, police trading standards and environmental health. Members can seek clarification and so can the applicant or their representative on any matters. We have representation from the Council's Commercial Environmental Health team and also the licensing team. We also have representation of this agenda. The licence holder will then present their case, and that is you. Finally, members may pass a resolution to deliberate in private and exclude the press and the public, including the parties and their representatives. The clerk and the legal advisor will remain with the members to provide advice on procedure and law. When the decision has been reached, the meeting will reconvene and the decision of the subcommittee will be announced in public. Full written copies of this decision sent to the applicant, licence holder, responsible authorities and interested parties, usually within 5 working days. Parties who have taken part in this hearing may appeal against the decision to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days. As this is an administrative hearing under the 2003 Act, we are not trained lawyers, so rely on the legal advice from our legal department today, represented by
Mr. Malik.
Thank you. I would also like to inform all parties that we base our decision on written and oral submissions. The clerk will take minutes of this meeting. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Pauline Egan from Democratic Service.
Thank you. If anyone in this chamber wishes to ask a question during the meeting, I will ask them to raise their hand and wait to be invited to speak. I would also like to ask you to turn down or turn off your mobile phones so we are not disturbed. Thank you. I will now invite the case officer to present this report. But firstly, there's been some adjustments. I'm aware that Steve has sent some conditions.
Yeah, Chair. I mean, what's happened is obviously because there's been no contact between applicant and the people making representation, which is Ian and Steve. Ian and Steve have got together and just to put some conditions, if the members are minded that they are grant this application, there are some conditions that they would like their members to take into consideration. However, it is obviously entirely up to you whether you accept that, because it was being tabled today, and your decision if you want to accept them as guidance.
Okay, thank you. Mayor.
Chair, that's perfectly well. It's quite normal practice for the responsible authorities to propose conditions in the event that you are minded to grant the application. Of course, that at this moment has no bearing on your decision. Have the applicant seen a copy of the condition?
No, it was only sent to me this morning, which again, I guess that they were hoping that the applicant would contact them to discuss this, but they didn't. So they decided to put some conditions together at the last minute. So, sorry.
So by law, Mayor, if it's going to be tabled, isn't it right that the parties have to see the,
They should see it, yeah, there's
Yeah.
a requirement that they must see the conditions. I mean, strictly speaking, this isn't evidence, however, for a matter of good practice, perhaps we can print copies of the conditions and just explain to them what's happening here.
Yeah.
I think we must make it clear that this isn't influencing your decision.
No.
It's just as part of deliberations, you review conditions in any event as a part of a decision-making process.
all right, so I think what might be best then is if we adjourn the meeting for 10 minutes or make it 15 minutes, Colin, if you can print out and give the conditions
I'll
for,
distribute the conditions.
yes, that would be fantastic, and then we'll resume the,
Did you want me to go through this before we do that, or, and then go down, or do you want to?
Maybe we'll deal with the conditions first. and-
Okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
It may just be.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. This meeting is going to be adjourned for 15 minutes. If you can take a seat outside. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Lena, you're okay to explain.
Right, thank you, everyone. It's given us an opportunity to read the proposed conditions from the environmental team and the licensing team. I take it you've had an opportunity to see them?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've had a discussion with our
Yeah.
license, case officer about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's wonderful. Would you like to now continue and present your case?
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
The licensing subcommittee asked to hear and determine an application to the grant of a new premises licence for 79. The applicant is Hamid Mohammed, and any valid representation that have been made. An application for a premises licence was received by the licensing authority on the 21st of August 2024. Obviously, Claire, obviously, Chair, that was adjourned from the 23rd of October, I think that was, because of circumstances with members' attendance. So it's been reconvened today.
Thank you.
This was advertised and the application was advertised at the premises in the local paper. A copy of the application is attached to Appendix B. Plan of the premises submitted by the applicant are attached to Appendix B. The application is for the following licensable activity: late night refreshments every day from 2300 hours to 0200 hours the following day, and opening times from midday every day to 0200 hours the following day. Representations was received from the council licensing, from the council commercial environmental team on the licensing objective of prevention of public nuisance, and with a video is attached to Appendix C. The council licensing enforcement team have made representation against the application as a responsible authority on the grounds of crime, disorder, prevention of public nuisance and the protection of children from harm. Copy of their letter is attached to Appendix D. A local resident has made representation, including pictures on the licence and objective, crime disorder and public nuisance, and their letter is attached to Appendix E. Excuse me. Where the licensing authority decides to impose conditions on the licence, whether it's in the CIZ or not, such conditions must be appropriate and proportionate for the promotion of the licence and objectives. Conditions should be clear and unequivocal. The Secretary of State has issued guidance to the licensing authority to which they must have regards in carrying out their licensing functions. Members of the subcommittee should note that copies of the guidance are available at the meeting of the subcommittee. Alternatively, copies can be obtained directly from the committee clerk. Licensing authorities may only depart from the guidance if they have good reason to do so. Chair, this premises does not fall within the council's CIZ. Or CIA is called now. This premises has not had the benefit of a premises licence under the Licensing Act 2003 in the past, and an area plan is attached to Appendix F. The members of the licensing subcommittee are asked to hear the application, the representation of the licence holder, and any valid representation received from responsible authorities, and to determine the application. Chair, you've already mentioned about the conditions that we've been put in front of you today. That was tabled today. That was sent to me by the licensing team and the environmental health team. It has been passed to the applicant, and that's as far as we've got with that one.
Okay, was there any discussions?
I've just told them the outside that what the process was, and them to look at it and them to address you in relation to the conditions that have been proposed.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Would you like to pull up the picture of the premises? Also, I'm aware that there's a video that has come in from
Correct, yeah, from the
licensing team.
no, the environmental health team.
Sorry, environmental, sorry.
I think that was passed to the environmental health team by the resident, was that right? Yeah, so he didn't give it to me. The resident didn't give it to me. He gave it to the environmental health team that passed it on. That's why I've used it in his letter of representation.
Okay.
He didn't.
We'll play that once. Sorry, so we'll play that piece of video once you've given your rep.
Yeah, I've got it here ready, so.
Lovely. So if we can just have a look at the site map and the premises picture.
This is,
Sunset.
yes,
Yes.
can't, yeah.
Is it more comfortable for you to sit over there?
I can see from here.
Yeah.
This is the area map. It's on Green Street.
Right.
Cheryl,
I think I'll move down.
top is, I think that's Romford Road. Is that correct?
Are you on Northern Lakes or on?
Yeah.
So it's a few hundred yards down from the road on the right hand side.
Okay.
The actual premises, if I could get it, is that's the picture I've got. It's where it says Sam's Travel. Is that right?
So that's the premises.
This is the premises here. I can spin it round just to give you an idea of where it is on the high street.
Oh, I know where it is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the police station up there on the left.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, yeah, a couple of hundred yards, if that.
Wonderful, okay. And sorry, above the premises, is there residential homes?
It looks like there is, yeah. I mean, you don't occupy the upper floor? No, people live there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, wonderful. Can you now, is there any questions regarding?
And only regarding whether there are any other premises in the area selling food or alcohol or.
Yeah, I mean, there is quite a lot of food places down there.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got zoos there. They've got a license. I can have a quick look to see what the hours are.
Yeah.
They're all, you know,
Mm,
they're not, they're between 12 and 2.
Yeah,
I'll have a quick look while you,
yes, please.
just to sort of give you an idea of the.
Stories, any pubs and so on and.
No, there's no pubs down there. I mean, you had the pub down there called Ruskin Arms, I think it
White
was.
Hart?
Yeah.
That's shut
That's
Mm.
closed, yeah.
a while.
Queen.
Side Street North. Oh, sorry, I meant Queens, yeah, Queens, but that's quite a lot.
Way down.
Oh,
at
quite
the
a way.
market.
Yes.
That's nowhere near.
Device.
Yeah, that's near the market, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But other than that, no, there's not any pubs
Okay.
operating round there.
Coun-
Thank
So,
you, that's lovely.
Councillor Vaughan, is there any questions you'd like to ask
No,
regarding the
I don't,
pictures?
I don't think so, Chair.
Can we just have a quick look at the site map, please? We've got it here and then, have you got one of the site plan?
I didn't,
It doesn't matter, but it would be nice just to have a look on how it should be looking inside. So I have a question regarding the existing ground floor plan and the proposed ground floor plan.
the video first. I've got that ready because I didn't know you were going to ask that, so.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd take me a bit of time because I didn't know you were going to ask that because obviously it's,
okay, don't.
so I was,
Okay.
prepared.
So yeah, let's play the video first. If you want to talk us through it, we're going to play the video. How long does the video last? Do you know?
It's not.
Very short.
Oh, very short. I'll stay here then.
The planning advises the video was taken up at 01:30 on the 7th of September.
Okay.
I'll turn the volume up because it has got volume. So I'll turn it up from my computer. I don't know if it'll work.
The sound from your setting.
Sorry?
You might need to share sound, as you're just going to have feedback.
I'm going to do that.
Maybe play it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just play it. Is it up? Yeah. No.
It would be good to hear some sound.
Yeah, hang a sec.
Hmm.
Might be able to do it from here. Oh, it says I've,
When you go to share screen, I think there's an option to share sound on the settings.
hang a sec. Yeah, try that. Oh,
Try pressing view options at the top. This is 1:30 AM.
In the morning. And that chatter we heard was from the recording.
yeah, yeah.
With the guys talking outside. All right. All right, that's it.
Mine's off. That's it.
With your mic box as well.
Better? Yeah.
Okay, all right, we're gonna continue his questions and we'll come on to you. All right, okay, have you got any further questions for Colin regarding his report?
No.
Right, okay. Councillor Vaughan?
No.
All right. Right, okay, so I'm looking at it's not directed to your report, but I'm looking at the operating schedule with regard page 13. And you have as filled out, and this is just for clarification, that on the operating schedule, under provision of recorded music, he's actually put no.
Correct.
Right, and then on page 17, or is it? Right, 17.
D.
Under D, the prevention of public nuisance, he has actually put, so pollution other than noise, ensuring that the entrance door remain closed as a default, limit any music within the premises to a minimum. So there's a conflict in this, in the operation.
Yeah, I mean, it was deregulated, so up to 11 o'clock
Can play,
and play music.
right.
So, but if he's not applying for music,
So from 11 until 2,
can't play music, it can only be ambience music.
ambient, okay.
So basically, you can hear yourself speaking like we are, and there's background music. That's ambience.
Okay,
He hasn't applied for music,
no,
or they haven't applied. Let me just check the. No, it hasn't.
okay. So just so we're clear on that.
Yep.
Right, so on page 14, it's got late night refreshments, and the time states 12 until 2. But on page 7, and on the other, sorry, I'm just getting my act doing it. And then on here, it says 23 until 2.
So his opening times are from midday.
Yeah,
Opening times are different to obviously license.
Yes.
So midday is when they open the premises and they want to run the opening closing time till 2 o'clock. But late night refreshment doesn't kick in until 2300 hours. So when they fill out an application form, that's not unusual that a lot of people, they put the licensable activity to be 12 till 2.
yes,
But the right way to do it is when the licensable activities start at 2300 to when the licensable activities finish. So in this case, it's 23 till 2. They can open from 12 till midday till 2300 hours without a license, as you know.
yeah, Yeah,
So really, we're looking at from 2,300 hours to 2 o'clock in the
as I
morning,
said,
just for late night refreshment, and that's what
Yeah.
questioned today.
again, that's to be noted. I have, I think, one more question. Right, so have you visited the premises?
I haven't, no.
No, okay. And we've seen the video content. Okay, if there's, have you any questions for the case officer regarding the report that he's just read out?
No.
I've got the plan ready for you if you,
Lovely. Can we have quick,
sorry, so I didn't have it ready for you.
that's fine. That's a site, this one.
Page 25.
Yeah.
This helps you. And Steve out of the way.
Just before we go any further, you have sent them their agenda, Mr.
Yeah, they've got the agenda. It's on the website, so that I just tell them where they get it from.
Did you bring your agenda with you? Did you bring your agenda with you?
Didn't bring with, but I've read the agenda.
Right, okay.
Would
So
you
you're-
like a copy of the agenda?
so you can work your way through it with us?
Appreciate.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
This is there's no names on the green sheet, so that's all right, is it?
Thank you.
So we're actually on page 25. We're looking at the site map. You can see on the, so it says existing ground floor plan and proposed ground floor plan. I know you've not been there, so I'm going to ask Ian, because I know you've been there. Could you tell me if it's one or two?
It's the proposed one, yeah.
So that's the area we're going to be licensed.
As far as I remember, that's how it is.
Oh, right. So, the front of the premise, the opening of the premises, oh, that's it, that's it. So the proposed is what's in operation now.
Yes.
So can you just walk us through the actual site map itself? So where's the doors, where's the entrance?
Entrance,
Both sides or one side or?
one side on the right hand side,
On the bottom.
on the bottom corner.
I think the entrance of what you're saying, tell me if I'm wrong, that's the
Yes.
This is the entrance to the flats.
For the, no, for the, yeah,
Lovely.
The stairs that go up, there's a door there, but that's going to there, it goes.
It goes-
Yeah.
The bottom.
That's above. Obviously, we haven't
Okay.
got a flat above here because it's not a part of the license, so they take that out.
Right, okay. Is there, I noticed at the back, there's a yard. We don't know, is that where people smoke or is?
no.
So where do the people smoke?
Normally, at the moment, we don't have any staff that smoke in my premises.
What about your patrons? What about your customers? Where do they smoke?
They're not allowed to smoke in the restaurant.
No, so outside, where do they smoke?
Normally, I don't allow them to smoke near my premises.
Right, okay, all right. Could you explain what those that red box, this, what is it? Because I can't see, read it, what is on the map? Something area?
Kitchen area,
Right,
Area, cooking,
okay.
cooking and storing area,
preparation area.
yeah, preparation area.
And the counter, which is on the opposite the toilets?
Yeah.
Yes,
And that's where all the alcohol, sorry, the refreshments are sold from.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. When the, so I might as well ask because you've not been there. So when the, you do a takeaway, who do you use, like Deliveroo or Uber Eats or them? And where do they wait when they come?
They were near the counter.
Yeah, the place.
Right, so they come into the restaurant,
Yes,
wait for the deliveries, you give them the deliveries.
They wait outside. When it is food ready, they come near the counter.
Right, okay. All right. That's only my questions. Any questions regarding that?
No.
Yes, please.
We can answer you, yeah.
Sorry, the basement that's shown on the plan there,
yeah.
do you use that for any reason at all? Or is it just a basement
It's just a basement for storing.
storage?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for answering, helping us with the plan. Thank you very much. Is it Ian or Steve first? Steve, who brought the rep?
Ian,
Both made representation, so
Okay. Ian, would you like to start? Thank you.
Health team, respect to this application in relation to the licensing. Late night refreshments until 2 AM every day. Nearest residential premises is above this and the neighbouring premises. We have recently received complaints from 2 households about noise from the premises. First complaint was received on the 26th of August. Advised that I would like to bring into your notice 79 Green Street, restaurant, deck and behalf, making too much noise late night every day. Also highly affected street light, not sure what that relates to. We are I've redacted their addresses. Too much disturbing late night time till 1 AM in the early morning. I pledge you, Newham Council, take some necessary steps to visit and check. Also, do they have a late night permit to run the restaurant with music? September 1 weeks onwards, our kids' schools are going to reopen. We can't manage our sleep because of too much noises and many people staying outside the restaurant making too much noise. Cars are parking in front of the pathway during the night. The complainant provided the following photographs and 1 video, which the complainant advises was taken on at 01:30 hours on the 7th of September. And there's some photographs that have been attached. So we sent a letter to the 29th of August in relation to the noise. The complaint was received 42 on the 17th of September from a second household. Complainant advised, hello, we are getting very disturbance during late night from this restaurant. This restaurant recently opened and running very late, and people after eating food stating outside, it could be standing outside the restaurant, making so much noise, smoking, drinking, weed. We have kids who go to school, go early to school, and this is caused a lot. Our neighbours are asking to report this issue to council. Also, we see rubbish on the streets in the morning hours. It's very bad. I've taken a few videos of this. Portal will have option, will post. Visited the premises on the 3rd of September in relation to this licence application, at which time 4 chairs were outside the front of the shop on Green Street. Manager advised the chairs were for customers who were waiting. I advised that the chairs should be brought in by 10 o'clock each day to avoid customers using them, causing a nuisance to local residents. On the 14th of August, I was working with my colleague Anuja Rama, undertaking out of hours noise investigations. At midnight, we visited the premises. On arrival, 4 men were seated on chairs outside the front of the shop on Green Street. We went into the shop, and before we were able to identify ourselves, the waiter offered us a table. And we identified ourselves and asked for the chairs to be removed, which they carried out. I'm concerned that this premises has not responded to advice in relation to noise, appears to be carrying out licensable activity without a licence, and that should a licence be granted, it will continue to cause a nuisance to local residents. Thus, on behalf of the Commercial and Environmental Health Team, wish to make a formal representation in relation to this application. Chair, I would add that we have been back since then, on the 5th of October, it's 23:37, which is a Saturday night, at which time the premises was closed.
23:47.
23:47.
Right, before we go any further, we have some restricted appendices E, and it was addressed to you, Ian, is this an independent resident other from the 2 that have already put in reps, or is this a completely different? Because you've got 2 sets of correspondence.
Sure, if it's a representation, it's been addressed to me as a representation.
Yes, it's to Ian.
That would have been one of the 2 households, yeah.
Right, lovely. Okay. And could you confirm, because I noticed the addresses have been redacted, which I can completely understand, but were these two premises very close to the?
Reasonably close, yeah, to the restaurant.
Okay. Councillor Lofthouse, would you like to ask any questions?
Yes, so your first visit, was it your first visit on the 14th of October? Oh, sorry, 14th of August. Is that the first time you visited there?
Yes, that's, no,
No.
Excuse me, could you just wait? please?
Because you've got a complaint on the 26th August, and but this does actually say on page 36, 14th of August. Was actually that early, or is that a,
it's a type,
should probably be September?
that's in, yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies for that.
All right, just, that's lovely. Okay, so then the next visit was, where am I going? Was that the next one now? No, the third. I've got my dates in my clock now. When was your first visit?
So my first visit was on the 3rd of September.
The 3rd of September,
Yeah.
yeah.
When I spoke to them, and then
Yeah, there we are.
we,
Yeah.
subsequently put that down for a visit at night time to see whether there was any true complaints that were saying about noise outside.
Yes.
So
So they were open beyond and serving beyond 11 o'clock.
well, we didn't witness them serving beyond 11 o'clock, but we were offered a table, so I think the intention was to
Serve food.
Yes,
to operate
yes.
without a license. And also they had the chairs outside, which we
Yes.
asked them to remove. I just admit that's
And they were notified, you notified them they shouldn't be open at that time without a license, is that?
I didn't at that time.
No.
Obviously I was more concerned with dealing
Yes.
with the noise issues.
Yes.
I wasn't sure whether they'd have a 10 in place,
Yeah.
when I visited,
Mhm.
so. Found they didn't have a 10 in place, that, clear about that.
And you notified them after that? Did you look that?
We sent a letter to them on the 29th of August.
Yes.
So that would have been
So that's
in
when they
relation
would
to
have
the
known.
complaints that we had had.
And the timings.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Right, and I did just want to ask about there's the complaint that talked about music referred to on page 31. Do you know if that was late, or do you know what time they were? I know it doesn't actually say there what time. I know it says too much disturbing during late time, 1 AM in the early morning.
Oh, well, the complaint was received at 00:42.
And the music was probably then.
So
Mm.
I presume they were making that complaint about something that was going on at that time.
Yes.
When I went to the premises in relation to the license application, they didn't have any major facilities for creating music, not big speakers and things like that. So, television, but, nothing I'd be overly concerned about. And there was certainly, when we went there at night time, there wasn't any music that was noticeable. It might have been some background music playing.
And you spoke to the staff there who were serving and so on, not the.
I didn't have to raise my voice, so satisfied that if there was anything playing, it was background.
Okay. Thank you. That's lovely. Thanks for the moment.
Thank you. Councillor Vaughan, any questions?
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Can I take you on page 36, the big paragraph at the top of that page? It refers to rubbish on the street in the morning hours. Are there any further thoughts on that?
So which paragraph is
Page
it?
36, and the big paragraph starting, hello, we are getting very disturbance late night.
Or do we see rubbish?
Yeah, this is a complaint from the resident.
Yeah.
Are there any improvements in terms of the rubbish being left out?
I haven't had any further complaints about that, so without going through the bags, and I'd leave that for our commercial safety team to do that, to check their committing offences doing that.
Okay. And the penultimate paragraph on the same page. Where it says, I am concerned that these premises has not responded to advice in relation to noise. Is that been dealt with?
So that was my informal advice when I visited the premises, to bring chairs inside. That they haven't taken that on board. They were still outside at midnight.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
We haven't witnessed that since then. Last visit, premises was closed before midnight.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay, I've just got one question. From what you've seen, you've been on 2 compliance visits, or is it 3? 2 compliance, and from your understanding, you've tried to communicate with the applicants regarding breaches. So you've left messages with staff at one station.
Yeah, gentleman was one of the people sitting outside, who was running the premises. So when I visited there, spoke to the staff, they came inside.
Right, okay. And on both visits, you had not met with the applicant himself? Was he ever there on any of your visits?
Yes, yeah. When I visited on the 3rd of September.
Right.
I presume that was the applicant, this gentleman here, 3rd of September.
In the morning, daytime?
And also on the 14th of August.
So both visits,
14th of September.
the applicant was on the premises when you visited. Okay, so in your opinion, do you believe him to be a responsible person to be running a premises after the amount of contact and advice given?
I've only carried out one further compliance check, really,
Right.
so I'd want.
That was the October one.
Yeah, so it may be that they have taken on board our advice, but rather late. Maybe they're taking on board now. We haven't had any further complaints. And our last visit, they were closed. You know, I think it possibly could operate without causing a problem if they make sure they're not causing noise outside.
Right.
And there's no reason to believe it should be a problematic process.
Right, thank you. Any further questions? Chairs? No?
No.
No, okay. Have you any questions for Ian O'Connell? For environment? No? Any questions, anyone? Okay, let's move on. Steve, would you like to present your case, please?
Thank you, Chair. In regards to the recent application for a new premises licence at Decar by Heart, 79 Green Street, Forest Gate E7, the council's licensing enforcement team would like to make representation against this application as a responsible authority on the grounds of crime and disorder, prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm and public safety. The applicant is seeking a licence for late night refreshment until 2 AM every day. On the 9th of September 2024, the Commercial Environment and Health team sent a complaint to the licensing team regarding the premises from a local resident, which included noise, litter, ASB concerns, and officers also stated that the premises is trading after 2300 hours without a valid licence or temporary event notice in place. Several calls to the applicant have been made, however, we have been unable to speak to him directly, so a visit to the premises was conducted on the 17th of September 2024. I advise the premises to ensure that they are not trading between the hours of 2300 hours to 0500 hours without a valid licence or TINs in place. Also advise the staff member that this includes all takeaways and deliveries. The licensing team also carried out a visit to the premises on 20th September 2024 at 23:36 hours, and the premises was still serving customers inside the premises and taking food orders over the phone. We advise the staff that they do not have a valid licence to trade after 2300 hours, and that includes deliveries, to which they seemed shocked and they started to ask customers to leave. I returned to the premises later that evening, found the shutters down and no people congregating outside. There was also 4 chairs observed outside the premises. The staff member stated that the owner wanted them placed outside due to ASB complaints, advised the premises to take these inside. I have checked with the head of network management and highways and sustainable transport team, and he confirms that the premises do not have a table and chairs application or license in place. And obviously the application has been no application has been applied to use the public highway outside these premises. It is recommended that the applicant submits a set of robust conditions following the council's licensing policy 2020 to 2025 with the appendix of model conditions, as there's very limited information on the application to how the business will operate and ensure the 4 licensing objectives are upheld. On behalf of the licensing authority in its capacity as a responsible authority, I would like to ask members of the subcommittee to consider this letter of representation. Obviously, as stated earlier, Chair, there was some conditions that we have obviously proposed, which obviously me and Ian looked at earlier this morning. We've only put these together just in case members are minded to grant the licence, and really just as a guide for members to obviously have a look at and take in consideration for this application.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Councillor Vaughan, any questions for Steve?
No, I don't think so.
Not yet. Councillor Lofthouse?
Sort of. Yes, thank you, Steve. So Ian said he'd visited on the 3rd of September and the 14th of September, advising the premises about the times and the chairs outside. And then you visited again on the 17th and the 20th, and the same thing was happening. Is that right?
Yes.
Late and still had the chairs out there.
Yeah, there was obviously when we first arrived, there were some chairs outside and people just sitting outside. There was a couple of people sitting outside on the chairs, and obviously, I've obviously checked, and there is no table and chairs license for these premises at the moment. So I advised the staff member, and he said he would speak to his obviously the owner or his boss, and the chairs were taken inside. And obviously, when we did go in and advise the staff member that they didn't have a license or temporary event notice in place, they were quite forthwith in removing the customers and closing down the premises.
Yes.
Since then, we have had other officers out on previous visits, and we've had no reports in relation to this premises since our visit.
Thank you. And did you speak with the applicant on either visit? Did you see the applicant?
I do not believe that I spoke to any of the two the applicants that are sitting in front of us today. No, I believe I spoke to staff members that were there.
And the staff members were surprised when you told them
yes,
that they shouldn't be open?
Yes, they were surprised, and obviously they were quite cooperative when we did request them to close the premises, which, yeah, they did do. The only other sort of communication I've had was sending an email to the applicant in relation to obviously our rep, and pretty much asked them to contact myself or Ian, but I've not received any contact via email.
All right, thank you. So the messages from Ian and from you on the 17th didn't seem to have filtered down through the staff?
It doesn't appear so.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem.
On the back of that, Steve, could you tell me, on your first and second visit, was it the same staff that were present on the premises at the time?
I couldn't really confirm that for sure, but there was a male and a female, and yeah, I believe they're the same two people that I spoke to.
Thank you. Obviously you had concerns, otherwise you wouldn't make a rep. Why was there not a closure notice given to this premises?
A closure notice in relation to? In
relation to them having chairs outside, and which constituted to noise and nuisance. Because you've actually cited all four of the licensing objectives. So how come, maybe it's the wrong term, maybe it's not a closure notice, but a warning or direct enforcement notice?
Yeah, well, in terms of they had no valid license, obviously we would normally issue a warning letter and obviously get them to apply. They have applied for a license as we are here today. But in terms of like closure order, you would need numerous households for antisocial behaviour and issues surrounding that premises, and for us to go to the court to apply for that. I don't believe there was sufficient evidence to do that. They have done the right thing by applying for a license. My main concerns for the 4 license objectives were on the limited information on the actual operating schedule on the application. That's why I've sort of submitted some proposed conditions that I would feel would alleviate my concerns surrounding around the premises.
Right, thank you. And the same question I asked to Ian regarding the applicant's competence to run this premises, even with the proposed conditions. Do you think he's capable of that?
I'm afraid I can't really speak for the applicant himself. I've not really had much engagement with him, as I've said. Obviously, the conditions, if they are adhered to by the premises to the letter, then I believe that will uphold the 4 license objectives surrounding these premises. But obviously, that will be subject for the applicant being able to adhere to all them conditions, and compliance visits from us will take place. And I'm sure Ian's team as well will carry out noise complaints, noise visits as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Steve. I've got no further questions. Have you got any questions for?
No.
Gentlemen? No questions? Right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Colin, going back to you, you were going to look up some establishments that have late night refreshments in and within a 1/4 mile radius. Did you find?
Yep.
Just-
From 79 Green Street, where this premises, we've got, I don't know the
Yeah, no, it's fine.
though ones that are local to this premises. You've got number 83, which has got a late night refreshment, which is 0200 hours, which is what this premises is applying for. 85 is an alcohol premises, which has got a license till 2300 hours. 89 Green Street, 0200 hours, late night refreshments. 99 Green Street, 0500 hours, so that's a 24-hour late night refreshment place, that is. And 107, which is another late night refreshments. They're all every day, Monday to weekend.
Yep.
The only one that's got different to that is 107 Green Street, which is 0200 hours during the week, and at the weekends 0300 hours. They're the ones that are very in close proximity, within sort of a couple of 100 yards, maybe a bit further than.
And the 107 is once again a late.
The late night refreshment place, yeah, sorry. So in that vicinity, there's only one alcohol premises, which is
85.
Yeah. I mean, going further, then I could get some more, but I think
No,
they're the ones that
that's right.
calls that will be involved in this premises.
So I'm going to ask a question to Ian. Have you had any complaints from any of these venues in such close proximity to the existing premises that recorded that you?
You don't get very many.
Mm. Right, wonderful. Wonderful, thank you. Steve, same question?
Sorry, Chair, I didn't hear the whole question. Can you just repeat that, please?
Right, so Colin has just reeled off 5 premises in the close proximity to this premises. And I wondered if you've received, and you wouldn't probably know for the top of your head, but you can come back to me on this. Have you had any recorded incidences or any?
The only ones really, when we was out on late night visits, there was some congregating of street drinkers that we found in the road opposite. I can't remember the name of the road off the top of my head. However, there was some obviously street drinkers, and there was some delivery drivers that were going to various premises during the late night visits. We actually spoke to the off license on that day, and obviously he's got a license up to 11, so. We just gave him advice and guidance on street drinking nearer, and he confirmed that he doesn't serve street drinkers, but we are still monitoring that premises.
Lovely, thank you. And my last question is, do you know when this premise is actually open for business?
This premises today?
Yes.
No, I'm afraid I wouldn't
It's
know.
okay. I'll ask them. I thought you might know. All right, thank you very much. Yes,
Yeah.
councillor.
Yes, Steve, forgive me about this. I haven't seen anything about capacity of the premises. Do we know what capacity there is in place?
Well, from when I went into the premises, I counted, I think it was 32 seats possible. There was, I think there's six tables of 4, and I'm sure there was 4 tables of 2. But obviously that'd be confirmed with the applicant, and I think it was might be on the plan. You might be able to count the seats as well.
Okay, thank you.
Right, wonderful. Okay, gentlemen, now it's your turn to speak to the committee and put your case forward to us.
Yeah.
It's your turn to talk.
I recently opened the restaurant on 15th of August.
You're going to have to elevate, so you're going to have to speak louder.
Sorry, recently, this is the first time I entered into the restaurant business. Started on 15th of August.
2020.
15th of August.
2024.
24.
Right, thank you, yeah.
Just 3 months from here.
Please continue.
So from my experience, this is the first time most of our staff is new. So we are really sorry about these things happen near my premises and the noises. I'm thinking that I will, after this hearing, I will train myself and make sure, and also train all the staff to properly follow the rules and regulation. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
On my side.
Okay. Is
And there are the main reason of opening till late night. I found most of the restaurants around my area, they are open till late night. Even after I found some restaurant open till morning 4 o'clock as well. So the business was not that good when I opened. The customers are coming mostly after 9 or past 8. So I was finding very difficult to maintain all the expenses. That's the only reason I kept it open after 11, thinking that when the other restaurants are open, so I thought I could also keep it open, even though I've applied for the license. This is the only reason I kept it open. So after coming to know that I should not run, I have to wait until I was granted a permission, then I stopped opening the restaurant after 11 o'clock.
finished?
Yes,
You okay?
yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's start. You had ample opportunities to speak to environmental team and the licensing team when they tried calling you, when they visited your premises, but you have made no contact with them. Could you explain why that is?
I was not at the premises. I also run a cab myself, because in the cab timings mostly I go in I hand it over. Mostly I'm available during the daytime. After in the evening, I take my cab and go for the Uber. And then I come late night. So most of the time I'm in the driving.
So did your staff on the 4 visits that our officers made, did your staff not tell you that the Newham Council had come down to speak to you?
As they told me, we have the discussion.
You had a discussion, yes.
And I told them that it was them on time.
Right. But it never occurred to you to give the gentleman from the council a call?
I have spoken him on the premises a couple of times. One day in the daytime, he has come and visited my premises for the first complaint. During the daytime, I met him. And the second time he came in the night, I was there that time. Since after that, then I told my staff to close the premises on time.
All right, so let's get down to the tables and chairs. On all 4 visits, they told the staff and maybe perhaps yourself that the tables and chairs should not be outside after 2200 hours, after 10 o'clock at night. Why were the tables and chairs still outside, and why were you still allowing people to sit outside?
Oh, sorry, I don't put the tables outside. There was only chairs.
Chairs?
Yeah, there were only 4 chairs that
Okay,
we decided to keep because if anyone customer, they don't have space inside to sit. They can wait on site like more elderly people. For that purpose, I've left the chairs outside.
right. So, you're saying that those chairs were specifically put outside for elderly people?
No, that's for the waiting for the customers who cannot able to stand, or maybe any person want to.
So are you,
For the,
most nights of the week, you're busy to capacity that people have to wait outside and queue to get in?
yeah, after 9 o'clock it's getting busy. During that time, most of the customers, they have to wait outside.
Right, and that's what, for takeaway or to be seated?
Just for the waiting, not for the takeaway.
Not for the, waiting
Waiting.
for tables and chairs inside? Okay. Could you tell me your music, what kind of music do you play and what do you play it from?
Mostly I play instrumental music.
You play,
Instrumental music and
what do you play it on, a radio, a cassette, a computer, speaker boxes, what do you play it on?
I have the speakers attached to the roof, small speakers.
You have small speakers attached to the roof and you play it from your laptop, yes, or your
Yes,
phone?
the tab from the phone.
All right, okay. Now, could you tell me, have you got insulation in your property, noise insulation?
Yes,
Stop noise from travelling to the flats above?
yes, I did that
You have.
during the construction.
If we're looking at page 30, which is the this picture here on page 30. Yeah. On the bottom picture, you have like a funnel coming down. And it says high velocity, 450 diameter discharge cowl, flux. Is that the insulation there to keep the noise from going up and above?
Sorry,
Galvanized steel ducting, cross brace and mitigate noise.
Sounds like the kitchen extract system.
Yeah.
Right, so that will keep the noise from the kitchen down.
That's just to extract the cooking,
Yeah.
the heat, the smoke.
But it has here, cross brace to mitigate noise. So is that the noise coming from the extraction
Yes,
and the
About noise at the end, because it'll need some
lovely,
vibration.
right? But in the actual restaurant itself where people sit and eat and chat and laugh, and is there any insulation in that room?
I've done.
Right, so no noise from the restaurant part where they're eating can travel up.
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful.
That was insulated, was that, I didn't quite.
He said that it's insulated in the restaurant area, yeah, and the kitchen area, everything's insulated. All right, right, can we move on to the rubbish element? We've seen pictures of outside your premises and there seems to be black bags of rubbish, which is on page 33. Where and who collects your waste and when?
We have a scheduled plan. I also have made an agreement with the.
Sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
I
You have a
have an agreement with the waste collection.
new and waste collection,
Waste collection, I mean, the company, I have registered with them.
right?
They come and collect every 2 times in a week.
So twice a week, on what days?
One is on Monday,
Monday and Friday.
Monday and Friday.
Right, and where do you keep your waste?
Actually, we have bins
Bins
in front of my
in our restaurant.
restaurant.
So in front,
Somebody they take out, they put outside. We don't know even
so hold on, you've got bins.
bins, yeah.
Where do you keep the bins from Tuesday.
collection we put outside our restaurant.
in front of our restaurant.
Right, okay, so these bags of rubbish and this outside, supposedly outside your restaurant is not your rubbish, is that what you're saying?
This picture actually doesn't be clear whether it's in front of my restaurant because there is a rubbish side, just,
So you haven't got a dustbin, a litter bin outside your restaurant? On page 34,
yeah, it's just a bit far from my restaurant.
right, so this is not directly outside your restaurant? Right, and you're saying that this collection of rubbish does not come from your,
Uh,
okay, so you have bins,
Normally people they put the rubbish near this bin.
right, okay, but you do not? Okay, yeah. All right.
Chair, I'm just looking at that bin that you've just described, and that is literally one, from here, from that shop, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 shops along. Well, there's a double shop and it's outside the end of the double shop, so it's probably 5 shops along.
Right, okay.
Next to that lamppost, yeah.
All right.
4 shops, just counted.
Okay, that's fine. Councillor, Lofthouse, any questions?
Yes, couple of things. You put your application in on the 21st of August. Is that right? Yes. So you knew then that you needed
Yes,
a late night
yes.
refreshment license. So when did you tell your staff not to open after 11?
Once I got the complaint from the officers.
Do you remember when that was?
Exactly, I don't remember the date, but I think it was on,
Because there were several visits, weren't there, after that date?
I think the first complaint I was received from the sir about opening late night. I should put my chairs after 22. Since that time, I told my staff not to open after 11.
So your staff didn't follow your instructions straight away?
They would follow most of the times, but sometimes what people ask is the customers when they sit, they could not able to take them out on time, politely, I mean.
That's the other question I wanted to ask. Did any complaints come your way from residents about the noise?
No, no one has come personally to me.
No one's
No
personal,
one has come to the premises even,
Or your staff?
no.
no complaints made. How will you manage the noise of your customers outside? I mean, you say they've got to wait outside if there aren't seats inside. Is that right? There's nowhere inside they can wait. Is that right?
There's no waiting area inside.
There's no waiting. So you're going to have people waiting outside?
Initially, that's what my plan was, to keep the chairs for the waiting the customers. After receiving the complaint, then I removed the chairs from there.
Yes. But will people still wait outside? I'm just thinking of the disturbance to residents if they're talking and laughing and there's sort of noise outside. How would you manage that?
What I tell you about that place, there are 3-4 restaurants leaving 1 or 2 shops. So mostly people, they just wait after eating or before they eat, they go to the restaurants. So some customers, they park in my front of the restaurants and they go into the zoos. There's another restaurant after one shop after my restaurant.
So you're saying that the disturbance that
It's
residents
common
complained about
disturbance,
has nothing to do with your restaurant?
No, what I'm saying is a common, because I cannot say that there's this disturbance only because of my restaurant. That's what I can say.
Is there anything you can do to reduce any
Definitely,
noise that comes? What might you do?
I tell that, if there's no place, then I said, I cannot accommodate you now, there's no place. That's only one thing there, but I cannot make them wait outside my restaurant, keep making noises and disturbing the residents. That's what I can do there.
Ask them to,
Leave. Yeah, that's what I can do.
and there's nowhere inside to wait.
They can come inside as well, but not many people.
Not many, premises is only about 42 seaters.
And you're saying every night, 7 days a week,
No. Maybe
Mostly during the weekend, in the late,
not that many.
the weekends that you are the busiest.
oh, in the after 9 o'clock, most of them I'm busy every day.
And only one thing to follow on that. You have been opening late. What sort of time do your customers start trickling off? I'm just thinking do you need to be open until 2 AM or? Getting a lot of customers then?
The customers are reducing like nearly after 2 PM, so that's why I applied till 2 PM.
So, 2 AM, 2 AM.
2 AM, sorry.
So no, I think I said that. So what sort of numbers do you have round about 1:30?
Most of the customers waiting outside is like before 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock, I don't think this customer is waiting outside coming to the restaurant, so they can come and sit directly inside, have enough space. Maybe after 11, it should be okay. I don't think the customer need to wait outside.
11.
Yes.
And do you tend to be fullish after that?
Sorry?
Are you fairly full? You know, you've got 32 seats, is that right?
42 seat family.
And yes, all right. You do have that sort of number
Yes,
late at night. All right.
Okay. How many staff do you have working for you?
Including the in the cooking staff.
Cooking staff and waiting staff and all staff. How many staff do you have?
5.
And that's every day.
Mostly in the evening, there are 5. During daytime, there are 3.
Okay. Can you tell me what the 4 licensing objectives are?
What?
The 4 licensing objectives. Could you tell me what they are?
4 objectives.
Yeah, the 4 licensing objectives. Did you fill out this application form for this hearing today? Page 9. To page 24, say, yeah, page 24. Did you fill out this form online?
Yeah, actually, I gave it to my friend to fill this application. Who has been doing this.
Right. So you gave it to your friend to fill in for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that?
Because he has been applying for the restaurant, so I thought he could do the better for me, apply.
So when he submitted it, did you read through it before it came through to us?
Yeah, most of the part I have read it.
And you've read the one that the case officer from the licensing team sent to you, the hard copy? Did you read through this?
This one I've gone through before coming to.
You have, yes? Okay. So tell me, what are the 4 licensing objectives? Because if you have read through it, it's in the application, right there.
I mean, I've read all the complaints that I have received, but not exactly the full application.
Right, okay, but your friend had to fill out the full application for it to be submitted for you to get a new premises license.
Yes.
Said to me, you've read the application.
Yes.
Right, so the 4 license objectives are on in your application you sent to us. So I'm asking you, what are they?
Mostly like one thing I have to do is like safety of the customers that enter into my premises
Right?
and see that there is no, I mean, quarrel or like a fight, making a loud noise. So these are the objectives I think I've read that time.
Right. And what about public safety? What is your understanding about public safety?
Public safety in my sense, like when they come into my premises, make sure there is the floor is dry and make sure I have a well furnished where they can sit and do not harm them. So these are the things I think it's for the public safety.
Do you have children come in with their parents? We don't know roughly what age? From two.
Well, I have 5 children altogether.
Okay, right. Okay, I have no further questions. Councillors, any further questions?
I think you've been grilled enough on crowds and things like that. That would have been my question, but I think you did quite well in addressing that, so I have no further questions for you.
Thank you, councillor. You can come back if anything else. Have you any questions for? Thank you.
Going back to the waste issue, you've got a contract with a private company, is that correct?
Yes.
And what have they provided you? Do they provide you with bags or have they provided you with a bin?
They provided me with the bins.
I don't remember seeing a bin outside the premises. Where do you keep your bin?
We are keeping other side of the restaurant. There's a
We have space inside for the bins. When the collection day come, we put outside our restaurant.
Do you keep it in the yard?
Yeah,
In the back?
backside, yeah. They collect Monday and Friday.
Is that a big Euro bin? Is it a large bin?
Yeah, large one.
Lit?
General waste, 2 food waste bins. Altogether 3 we have.
3.
1 general waste, 2 food waste.
2 for food waste?
Yeah,
And they're big bins, are they?
small ones.
small one.
Okay.
2,
And that's collected twice a week?
twice a week.
Okay. And going back to my visit in September in the evening, you confirmed that you saw me there and you were sitting outside the premises at the time. Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
So I think you said that the outside area, those seats, were for customers that were waiting. But when I went there in September, it wasn't customers who were waiting, it was yourself and your colleagues or friends sitting outside. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, what are the chairs out? What are you using the chairs for? Because it's not very clear.
I think you came around 11:30 that time, almost near the closing time of the restaurant. I mean, the late night that time. So I was sitting with my friends outside there. Just to,
And are you still putting chairs outside?
no.
We remove from that day. When we got complaint, we remove all chairs. We never put outside.
Steve, any questions for the gentleman?
My question, obviously, just in relation to the conditions we proposed, just to confirm, there's no alcohol sold at the premises and no alcohol that's been permitted to brought on the premises by any customers. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
we don't allow customers at all.
Okay. And obviously for my visit, especially late at night, the table and chairs, sorry, not the table and chairs, the chairs outside seem to be being used by delivery drivers. And obviously condition 6C, where we've stated all third-party drivers, riders shall be instructed to wait inside the premises and not to leave their engines running, and make sure car doors are closed and not to play loud music while they're outside. Is that something that you believe you can do as part of this condition?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
So obviously any delivery drivers that do come to your premises, you would obviously make an allocation somewhere for them to locate
Yes,
themselves or? you'll have to reduce your seating area for them to be able to congregate inside your premises.
Yes, I'll do that, definitely.
Okay, thank you. There's obviously just one other question. If there is any, the other one that I just wanted to make clear was if there's any unaccompanied children that are under 16, that obviously you would make sure that their welfare is looked after if there was unaccompanied. And obviously you wouldn't permit any underage people on the premises after 10 o'clock at night without an adult with them. And if there was a child that came in that appeared under the age of 16, what would you do?
Mostly I'll try to maintain I'll put a notice on the counter saying that under 18 children are allowed before 22 in the night, 10 o'clock in the night. And if anyone comes in, I'll politely say that I cannot able to serve them after 22 and leave the premises. That's what I can do.
Okay. Say for instance, a 14-year-old child came into the premises with no adult around them. What do you think the best course of action would be?
Sorry, can you repeat once again?
If a young child came into your premises without any adult, they say, for instance, they looked about 14 years old, what would your course of action be for you and your staff if you saw a vulnerable person of that age after 10 o'clock at night? What would you do? Who would you contact?
I'll train my staff and also make in knowledge that after 22 hours that young children, below 16 years are not allowed them to be served food in my restaurant.
Okay. If, for instance, if it was your child that came into the premises, they was on their own, what would you want your staff to do? That's what I'm trying to get at here. Who would you contact to make sure that they were safe, not sent back out on the street late at night?
Sorry, I did not understand this question.
Colin?
So would you just kick them out because they're underage and you can't sell them, or is there something else you would do?
That's what mostly my plan is to put a notice.
Yeah,
near the,
got that.
near the-
If somebody does come in, it's at 11, 12 o'clock at night. Would you just kick that that young child's come in, would you just kick them out? Or was there something else you would do? Looking at them conditions that the officers are.
I will not allow them or serve them, just politely request them to leave the restaurant.
You'd let a child of 14 leave the premises?
Yeah. After 22.
Is that what you want, Steve?
Yeah, he's not really. I don't think he's really grasping what I'm asking.
No.
No. If you want me to carry on, Chair, I can try and get to my point, or I don't know if you wish to do that yourself.
Okay, yes, let me just interject. You have a young child.
Yes.
It's dark outside, right? There's people walking around. They've come into your shop to buy something. They're young. Would you just tell them to leave your shop? You have no responsibility for them. Or would you perhaps call someone, or would you speak to someone to say, look, I've got this young child. What shall I do? I can't just let them go out there. Would you just let the child go, or would you try and protect the well-being of that child who's in your premises?
No, we try to ask her, is there any problem, or we take her number or their parents' number, we try to call them. No, we try to protect her we measure the security as well. Is there any problem outside? We check outside as well.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what he's trying to ask you.
Oh.
Yes, it's not just about your shop, it's about the well-being of your clients' public safety that are in your premises. And it's important for you to understand this. So on that note, Steve, would you advise this gentleman perhaps to get some training to upskill himself on some of these concerns you have?
Yeah, I would definitely obviously have a good read up of the conditions, and obviously instruct his staff how to go about the conditions, and also in an emergency situation, if there was an underage unaccompanied child that came into their premises, not to just let their staff let them go. Obviously do your due diligence and obviously try and contact the parents if you could obtain that, but obviously be in the worst case scenario, contact the local police to get them to come down to the premises and obviously deal with the young child, and obviously they will be able to sort the scenario out from that way. So obviously letting a young child go out into late night economy late at night on their own would definitely be not advisable, and for you to strongly make sure that you and your staff understand that going forward, especially working till 2 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes things like this do occur. Not just a child, it could be a vulnerable person, person in danger or vulnerable out in the street. They're coming into your premises to seek shelter, then obviously you need to do your best to make sure their safety is maintained.
Yeah, got
Thank
it.
you, Steve.
No problem.
So just on the back of that, you could see the seriousness of the proposals and what's on this, which you said you've read. I don't think you fully understand it. So would you, if we were minded to grant this license, would you agree to go on some training?
Yeah.
Some vulnerable persons, children and welfare and vulnerability training?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah?
Because I'm new to this business, so
So you need all the help you can get.
it would be good for me to handling these situations. Really, I'll do that.
Right, okay. Right, are there any further questions for legal? Have I remembered everything, or is there anything you would like to ask?
Not then, but just to make a note that you have read the representations of the residents.
Thank you, yes, which is to be noted. And we have also seen the pictures and the video. Thank you very much. If you are going to be watching this at a later stage, thank you very much for submitting that. Right, any further questions?
I just have a question. On your application, you've put no music, no licensable music. So do you understand, because you've got speakers in the premises, understand what that means, that you can't have any, it's not that you can't have music in there. Do you know what that means, that you can't have loud music in there?
Yeah.
So what sort of music I know we touched on it, but obviously I'm thinking of it from a environmental health point of view and noise issues. If you are minded to grant the license till 2 o'clock, you have got speakers in your premises. You for music after 2300 hours. So how would you make sure that you are not playing music after 24 hours, or you've only got ambience music after 2300 hours?
No, my plan is totally to stop music after 22 hours, before 23 hours.
So no music, you're not going to play any music after 2300 hours?
Yes.
Play music like radio, not loud normally.
Okay.
11 o'clock, 10 o'clock is like radio, not that much loud music.
But after
You
20,
can't hear outside.
stop.
Just to keep the environment pleasant, we just play the music.
Yeah. So you've got ambience music playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fine. You can play that all night long,
That's it.
but you can't have loud music.
No,
We
we are
never
not.
play loud.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Never allow, I don't allow to play loud music. Because of,
Even if your customers ask.
so they come, they sit, they chit chat, they have to listen to each other.
And on that note, do you rent your premises out for parties or anything like that?
Parties, no.
No, it's you don't
No,
sort
we don't do the parties. We don't have that much space as well.
right, okay. So you don't hold any parties.
Normally, we do like 10 to 12 people. We have a sitting where we arrange for them, like if they want to have a small party, like we don't do the big parties, like even after.
They've all got to come in and sit down and eat food if they're coming in as big.
Sorry,
They have to eat food if they're coming in as a big group.
big group like
Just 10 people, not
10
more
to
than 10.
12 people like that we arrange.
I'm only saying it because we have people that hold parties in these restaurants.
Yeah.
And we just want to, you haven't got the facilities to do that under your license if it's granted.
Just small parties, not that much. Like birthday parties, we play birthday music as well for them. Just
Yeah.
10, 12.
We do have parties.
Just birthday, small parties like 10, 12.
10 to 12 people like that, when they want to come as a family and want to cut the cake.
And food,
After finishing the.
and food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right, okay. So I think we've finished listening to all arguments. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go into deliberation with the legal and our clerk. We're going to sit down, have a conversation and decide what your fate may be. So we're going to adjourn the meeting. So if you can stay quite close, you will get a decision today. And then when we're ready, we'll call you back and reconvene and give you our decision. All right. So Pauline, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for being so patient. We have made a decision today, and the member services clerk will read it out. Thank you.
Having heard all oral and written representation, the committee have decided to grant the application with the following amendment on the licensing hours from Sunday to Thursday until 12 AM and from Friday and Saturday to 2 AM. There will be further conditions in respect of training and these conditions that were circulated earlier. And we aim to send you the full written details of the decision within 5 working days.
Thank you, Pauline. And parties who have taken part in this hearing may appeal against the decision to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days. Thank you very much. I do advise you, strongly that you speak with your licensing and your environmental, that's what they're here for, to support you in helping you to make your business successful. Okay, this meeting is now closed and thank you very much for everyone attending. Thank you, Pauline.